us together in this conversation. Somebody let me know when you can see the slide. Okay. Can you see the slides?
Yes, sir, I can.
Yes, sir, we can see, sir.
Okay. Right. So this theory, everybody can go on mute so that there is no echo. This was created by Dr. Otto Scharmer from MIT, US, and it was created over 2-3 decades of research and working with many organizations worldwide, including companies like Google and Alibaba and McKinsey and World Bank and many places all over. Right? What is our intention? Our intention is altering the consciousness with which organizations, society, and individuals operate. What we mean by that is right now we are operating with a certain level of consciousness, a certain level of mindfulness, certain level of awareness. That is not sufficient. We are causing a lot of problems on the planet because of the level of consciousness with which we are operating. Everybody, if you can go on mute, we will avoid the echo. Okay, so this is Dr. Sharma and of course his senior colleague Peter Senge. Peter Senge is known for systems thinking and the whole concept of learning organization. His book, The Fifth Discipline, and the field book after that, they are world standards in learning organization concept. A lot of people implement it thoroughly. There is a book called Schools That Learn. So those of you who are interested in this whole learning phenomena at an organization level, you can read a little bit more on Peter Senge, as well as if you are interested in systems thinking, you can learn more about him. And Edgar Schein, Professor Edgar Schein is considered as the father of this whole concept of organization culture. Okay. So they are all been the guiding force behind Otto Scharmer to come up with this theory. Okay. Some of these companies who have been involved in this whole journey. Okay. This is what we looked at last time, that if you look at all the problems on the planet, are you able to hear me clearly, everybody? Hello?
Yes, no issue, sir. It's very clear.
Okay, because I am getting some echo all the time. That's why. Okay, thank you. So, everybody go back on mute, please.
Okay.
Everybody go on mute, please. If somebody unmuted, you can see the
Yeah,
hand.
I'll load. I've done that.
Okay, right. And are you able to see the slide yet? Or no?
Are you able to see the slides?
Wait a
Yes,
minute.
sir, it is visible.
1 second.
Sir, it's visible, sir.
Okay, so I stopped the sharing. So now, what is the situation now?
Now, are you able to see the slide, please? Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Oh,
No.
oh no.
No,
Okay,
sir.
good.
Now, no.
Yeah, good, because I stopped it. Okay, great. Thank you. So now we looked at 3 divides last time. Okay. First is called the ecological divide, the eco divide. The second is called the social divide. And the third is called the spiritual divide. So the ecological divide is showing up in many ways. But one simple way to understand is this number 1.5. What it means is we are consuming 1.5 times the regenerative capacity of planet Earth. Okay. So Earth is there to support all the species, and we can use the resources, but we are consuming much more. We are consuming 1.5 times the capacity of the Earth to regenerate itself. So that is one way to understand the ecological divide. Another way to understand the ecological divide is human beings are not connected with nature. They're completely disconnected with nature. And when I say nature, it means everything except human beings. So nature, including the physical nature as well as other species, everything. We're disconnected with the whole world. The second is the social divide. Social divide is human beings are disconnected with other human beings. It could be for many reasons: religion, country, caste, creed, all the stuff. But one big reason is finance. 1% of the population owns more than 50% of the population's wealth. So that is one way to understand how much disconnect is there between human beings. On one side, 62 people, you can you can take them in a bus, have more money than 90% of the population. All right. So there's huge imbalance you can see in the finance and the wealth on the planet. So that is just one way to see the disconnect. And the third is, madam, can you do something? There's an echo all the time.
Sir, I have checked. I think only when the people are entering in between, it is stopping for some time. I have checked, sir. Everybody is mute, sir.
Okay, no problem. Thank you very much. So the third problem is the spiritual divide, which is we are, as human beings, disconnected from our real self, which leads to, of course, a lot of stress, anger, violence, and meaninglessness of our life, hollowness of our life. And it leads to, like, one of the numbers to remember is that more people kill themselves than are killed by others, including nature. Right? So whether you look at wars, acts of terrorism, riots, or natural calamities, so many people die because of that. But compared to that, more people are killing themselves. That is showing you how much we are disconnected with ourselves. So this is what we started our last session with. Okay. And now, as educators, right, people in the education facility field, all of us are leaders. All of us, whether we like it or not, we are leaders. And we are influencing the thinking. What I mean by leaders is we are influencing the thinking. And one of the reasons why we want to partner with colleges and schools is to make this technology available to people and bring the level of awareness that is required. Now, everything, all learning, all leadership, everything will start with listening. Okay. And that's what we looked at last time. Of course, most people on the planet have an illusion that they are great listeners, but let's see, right? So we are going to look at uh, the world of listening, and I'm going to take you through some slides again. And today we are not going to do a lot of slides. We are going to go do some real work with each other. Okay. Okay, can you see the screen now? Somebody can unmute and speak.
No, we
Yes,
can't
sir.
see, sir.
Yes,
Wait.
You see
I think,
Yes,
sir, it
yes,
is
sir, yes,
your
sir.
now they can see, sir.
levels of listening. Can you see?
Yes, sir, we can see.
Okay, great. Thank you very much. Okay, so all of us are listening all the time, like that we are awake 16 hours a day. We are listening, right? So why are we talking about listening? Because the way we listen is going to determine the future. So consider that the way we normally listen 16 hours a day is what we call as listening from habit. That's the level one of listening. We are continuously downloading. We are listening from our habits of judgment. And when we listen from our habits of judgment, what happens? We reconfirm our opinions and judgments. So whole day you're listening. You wake up, you listen to the family members, you travel, you go to institute, or right now, of course, you're working online, but you're interacting with people. Consider that nothing new happens in our life because we are listening from our judgment, so everything is the same. So we have opinions and judgments, and then after we listen through those opinions and judgments, we reconfirm our opinion and judgment, and that's it, and then go back to sleep. So we wake up, listen with our opinion and judgment. Whole day we listen through our opinions and judgments, and we reconfirm our opinions and judgments, and we go to sleep. And we wake up, and our opinions and judgments wake up before us. And every day we go through life through listening through everything and seeing everything through our opinions and judgments. And we reconfirm our opinions and judgments, and we go to sleep. And every day, day after day, month after month, years after years, decades after decades, that's what happens. That's what human beings do. It's not right or wrong, that's what human beings do. They listen through their world of opinion and judgment, go through the whole life, go through all the motions through the opinion and judgment, reconfirm their opinion and judgment, and go to sleep. So I want to stop here and interact with you to see what you understand. So if you let's hear from some of you what you understand, what questions you have from whatever I just said.
We are the outcome of our thought.
Sorry?
We are the outcome of our thought. What we are thinking, that we are.
No, you don't think. Thoughts come to you.
Yeah.
There's an illusion that as human beings we do thinking. Most of what we call thinking is just automatic thoughts. Most of us have never been trained in the discipline of thinking. We have been just listening to the automatic thoughts that cross our mind.
Yes, sir.
We are not the creators of our thought. They're just automatic. You see somebody and some thoughts come up. Some topic comes up and your thoughts come. Some work is there, automatic your thoughts are there. Somebody says something, the thoughts come. They're all automatic, default. Okay. Let's hear from other people. What you see, what questions you have.
So in that case, whatever thoughts that comes in the mind, is it that is due to the previous listening of that particular concept? Correct me if I'm wrong, sir.
It's all automatic. You are not at the source of it. You didn't create it. You didn't choose those thoughts.
So in that case, that is not listening.
That is what we think. Yeah, that is what is the ordinary listening that we have.
Okay,
But
sir.
what
We
is the
can,
impact? What is the impact of that?
so if our thoughts contradict with the explanation, say right now, if, what is happening is I'm listening to you, and the concepts that you are telling to me is what I know so far. That is what my listening is. Now what my thoughts are going on is what sir is going to tell, or what he is going to break this listening concept. So what it is new for me, so that is what I'm listening for. Is that
Yeah,
correct?
I don't know whether that's correct or not. I don't know what's going on with you. But what's important to understand is our whole life, right? The way we are listening, right? It's all thoughts coming automatically, right? And that's called listening through our habits of judgment. And we have opinions and judgments about everything on the planet. We have opinions and judgment about people that we live with. We have opinions and judgments about people that we work with. We have opinions and judgment about everything, every work, everything, every role. And we have opinions and judgments about ourselves. And we are only listening through those world of opinions and judgments. And once you listen through those worlds of opinion and judgment, you reconfirm your opinion and judgment and then go back to sleep. Okay. So somebody else, what you hear, what you don't hear.
So actually, sir, actually, if someone is saying something to us, we recall with our previous information, and we sense about them, whatever we sense, and we come to some judgment, and we will be okay. That's how we will. What you said, we will reconfirm our things. If you know about them before, we will reconfirm. Otherwise, we will create a new thought and we'll keep it with us. That's what I understood. Am I right?
Yeah. No, the problem is you're trying to understand. Okay.
So
Okay.
there is one question.
Yeah.
Shafaq sir, have you finished?
Yes, ma'am. I finished, ma'am.
No, it's not finished. I'm saying, see, right now you're listening for understanding it, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, maybe it's not supposed to be understood. Maybe it is supposed to be experienced. Maybe life is not designed for you to understand. Maybe life is to be experienced. Maybe relationships, partnerships, even with colleagues, they're not supposed to be understood. They're not to be experienced. But when you listen for trying to understand, you're missing life.
But when we work in, it's an our working environment, right? So we have
Yeah,
to have a decision, take a decision to move on.
yeah. But before decision, you need to connect with the other human being. No?
Yeah, that's true.
You're
That's right.
taking decision about which is connected with human beings, right?
Yes,
It affects the human beings, right?
it's true.
So the problem is we are not connected with human beings. That's what I told you. The three divides, right? We are not connected with ourselves. We are not connected with human beings, other human beings, and we are not connected with the world. And we are not connected because we are not listening. When we get connected, maybe the way we see the world will change. Maybe when we are connected to our students and connected to our colleagues and connected to the society, connected to our family and connected to ourselves, maybe how we understand our job will change. Okay, somebody else?
Yes, sir, there is one question from Shuguna ma'am. Listening
Yeah.
is a skill which human possesses by nature before birth itself. So they can easily gain this skill even if he has not learned.
Yeah, you're talking about some biology, right? The problem is we are listening through our judgments all the time. Suguna madam, can you unmute? Yeah. So I'm saying that we are always listening through our judgment.
Sir, her microphone is not working
Okay.
and also video.
Okay. No problem. You can respond on chat. But do you agree to? Do you not agree? But do you? I would like you to consider. Are you willing to consider that we are always listening through our judgment? Suguna madam, you hear that?
Ma'am, you can type your answer in chat box.
And we're listening and we have judgments about everybody, each human being, our parents, our spouse, our children, siblings, our boss, our subordinates,
Sir,
team members, students, everybody.
ma'am has answered not always.
Yeah, so I'm inviting you to consider. Are you willing to consider that? Are you open to consider that we are listening through our judgment?
Yes.
Okay, yeah. Because you're a human being and human beings are listening through judgment. That is the only way you listen as a human being. That's the only way you and I can listen. And it's not wrong, it's just that we are not aware that this is the way we listen. Sometimes listening through judgment can be good, it can help you protect yourself. So I'm not saying listening through judgment is bad, but we are not aware that we are listening through judgment. And we are listening through judgment for everybody. And when you're listening through judgment, that's how people show up. So your father is the way he is, and your mother is the way she is, and your children are the way they are, and your spouse are the way they are, and your colleagues are the way they are, all inside of the way you listen. They show up in the world created by your listening. And that's the new world. And nothing new gets created there inside of that world of listening. So that is our common default, almost 100% of our time way of listening. Okay. And if you stop resisting that, right, and if you can accept it, that okay, that is the way our default listening happens. That is the way we are listening automatically. Then you can see, okay, that is quite limiting. How do we go beyond? So we can then look at how do you go beyond that. But It's like unless you see the problem and acknowledge the problem, you cannot even go in the direction of creating a solution. So the first step is to see the problem and acknowledge the problem and embrace the problem, right? Or embrace the situation. Now, if you want to go beyond this world of judgment, right, to the next level of listening, which is the conscious level, that's what we call as factual listening. Okay, let me see if I can show you the slide again. Okay. Can you see the slide? Somebody? Okay, let me know once you can see the slide. But I'll start. So the second level is the factual listening, right?
So they are able to see the slide.
Okay, great. Thank you. This, which is called, we call it open mind. Here, you're listening for disconfirming data, new data, contradictory data, disconfirming data. Disconfirming to what? Disconfirming to your original thinking, disconfirming to your current understanding. So the factual listening is where you are listening from outside of your world, outside of your current knowledge, and you're discovering new data, new information, new analysis, new interpretation. Okay, so let's imagine, everybody imagine that you are in a circular room and you have windows on the sides, and imagine that those windows are closed and there are curtains on the window and the whole room is closed, and you have got your lights on, and in the center of the room you have a projector, and through this projector the slides are getting projected on the walls and the windows and everywhere. And what is getting projected is what you already know. Now, nothing wrong with what you already know, but that's not what's happening outside in the world, right? Maybe what you know and what you are projecting from your mind is great. It's just that that's not what's happening outside. So the level one is like you are in the circular room and you are projecting your thoughts and you are seeing your thoughts. That's it. You're projecting your thoughts, you're seeing your thoughts, you're projecting your thoughts, you're seeing your thoughts, you're projecting your thoughts, you're seeing your thoughts, you're projecting your thoughts and you're seeing your thoughts, and you're projecting your thoughts and you're seeing your thoughts, you're projecting your thoughts and you're seeing your thoughts. And right now you may get bored by my saying it 6 times, but we have been doing it for our whole life and we don't seem to be getting bored of that. So that's the level one listening. Level two listening is, imagine now you stand up from your chair and you go towards the window and you push aside the curtain and you open the window and you see outside. And when you see outside, you start noticing things which are different from what you thought. That is level two, open mind. We'll also come to what stops us from listening to at an open mind level. But let's first look at this couple of levels of listening, right? And then level three is what we call as empathic listening, which is open heart. Open heart means you actually get out of this closed room, you go out and go to where the people are, your family, where your family is, where your friends are, where your students are, where your management team is, where your other people are, and you go outside and stand there and with those people, and then from there you look back at your room and look back at yourself in the room. So imagine that you're both places, and you're from there, you're looking back, you're seeing through the eyes of another person. That's the empathic listening. And when you do that, it creates a strong heart to heart connection. Okay, so let me stop here and let's discuss. So, what do you understand? What questions you have? Somebody?
So first one is about. Sorry, ma'am. You can carry on, ma'am.
No, Sapasha, only
Okay.
you are speaking, sir.
Okay. If the first one about the closed one is what I thought, and I thought I want to impose that idea. That's what I see is closed one.
Right.
When I see a open one is I'm just looking for their opinion and I take their opinion. I consider it that I see it as a open mind. The
Okay.
third one is I don't know how to see it.
Right. So, the first one is you are listening to your own thoughts.
Okay.
You got that?
Yes.
Yeah. You're listening to your own opinions, your judgments, and you're thinking that is the reality. The second one is you look outside and you start discovering new information, new data, which may be contradictory to your current understanding. Okay. And the level three is when you go outside of the room and you actually go out with people there and then look from their eyes. That is empathic listening. So when you look at life from your eyes of your parents, when you look at life from the eyes of your spouse and children and students and manage other people, when you start looking at life from their eyes and you look at yourself from their eyes, we have been so busy looking at ourselves from looking at ourselves from our eyes, looking at the world from our eyes, right, that we assume that we know how others see us. But when you go beyond that and you actually start finding out how do others see life, how do others see the situations, and how do others see us. So that is the empathic listening space. Okay. Somebody else? Questions, arguments, what ifs?
So can we say that listening is more on others rather than you?
I don't know what you mean by that.
So listening from my own point of view may or may not be correct, but when you listen from others' point of view, you may be correct.
It may not be correct, but at least you see how others are thinking.
But when we do this for a long period of a time, won't we be losing ourselves? If you try to listen, say for example, I try to listen from my father's point of view, I try to listen from my spouse point of view, and
Right.
if this goes on, will I be losing myself, right? So what I'm going to do, what others are going to think about me, will I be
Yeah.
losing myself?
Yeah. And maybe that is the excuse we use to not listen to people. I'm not saying you have to agree with what they say,
Oh,
but do you understand what they're saying? Do you spend your time and energy to see things from their eyes?
yes. Okay.
That's very different from, see, it's not that you are right or they are right. They are also human beings. You are also human being, right? So it's not that they are more right than you or more wrong than you, right? It's just that there are different worlds, different perspectives. When you can see life from your father's eyes and your wife's eyes and your children's eyes and your customer's eyes, you start seeing life differently. You expand your horizon. Instead of being limited to seeing life only in one color, you can see now life in multiple dimensions, in multiple ways. You expand your paradigm.
Okay.
And if you don't expand your paradigm, you're not listening.
Still, I'm in the first part of listening.
Yeah. And when you start listening and expand your paradigm, you will be more effective as a human being, more effective as a educator, more effective as a leader,
Correct.
because now you can speak with an appreciation of their world.
Yeah.
Instead of trying to force the whole world to listen to you and agree to you, now you can speak in their world
Yes.
with with an understanding of how they see the world. See, the way your wife sees the world is very different from the way you see the world. Okay.
Yes, sir. I agree completely.
And it's not that what she sees is right and what you see is right, or what you see is wrong and she sees right. No, they're just two different ways to look at life. When you can have a deep appreciation of each other's way of looking at life, you can create a different level of communication, right?
Yeah.
Now, you know, your students don't see the world the way you see the world.
Yes. Yes. Definitely.
Yeah. And different groups of students see the world differently. Your management doesn't see the world the way you see the world.
Yeah.
Do you have children?
Yes, sir.
Right.
Yeah. One kid.
Uh, yeah. Sorry.
One kid.
One kid. How? What is the age?
He's 9. He's 8. 8.
8. Right. Yeah. Your kid doesn't see the world the way you see the world.
Yeah.
Now, unless you can see the world from their eyes, you're going to miss out a lot of opportunities of connecting with your son. Is it son or daughter?
Son.
Son. Yeah. You're going to miss out a lot of opportunities of connecting with your son if you can't go out of your head and actually see life from his eyes. And then we wonder, after they become teenagers, we wonder why our children don't interact
Listen.
with us much, right?
Yes.
And after some time, they get bored of our lectures
Yeah.
because we are not in their world. We never invested enough time to be in their world and to see life from their eyes. We're so busy in just our own way of looking at life.
Uh-huh. So I have a little bit more understanding, or correct me if I'm wrong. Also, if this is from my point of view, if I'm going to think what they are going to think, and I'm going to satisfy them.
I
Uh,
didn't ask you to satisfy them.
okay.
I am not going there. And I don't
Okay.
want you to think what they are thinking.
Okay.
Maybe it might be smarter to ask them.
Like, can you give
Maybe,
an example, sir? A small example.
yeah, maybe you can spend half an hour with your wife
Okay.
and ask her what is most important, what are the most important things in her life, and what is her dreams, and what are her ambitions, and how was life for, how did she see life when she was a child, and how she was, what did she visualize life as a teenager, and what are her dreams and ambitions, and if there were no limitations, what would she would like to do in her life. And if you invest that kind of time with people, you will discover them newly. You don't need to do anything else with that. Just discover them, connect with them.
Okay.
There's nothing to agree or disagree. It's about just listening and connecting.
Okay.
We are so
Understood.
scared of listening that, oh, if I listen to them, then I will have to commit. No, just listen first. Get connected. Human beings are get connected with people.
I got the point, sir.
Yeah, great. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Sir, we have one question, sir,
Yes,
from
please.
Yogeshwari madam. In my opinion, listening goes to various levels only with the
Yes.
experience.
Only with experience. No,
Yeah.
with experience, you become bigger and bigger block in listening. Listening starts with heart, and you don't need heart for experience, or you don't need, sorry, you don't need experience for heart. If you have heart open, you can listen. If you open your heart, you can listen. Your children can listen. If you tell them and if you explain to them, they can understand much more than what you can imagine. Small children, if you explain even big concepts or big things, you'll be surprised at how much they can understand and comprehend. It's the more and more our baggage gets filled with judgment, we stop listening, or we start listening through our judgment only. So that's why when we are marrying, in the first 6 months, life is great because we have less judgment about people. After some time, we know what they're going to say even before they open their mouth. And then you know what happens, right? Okay. Somebody says listening is experience.
Yes, sir, Yogeshwari madam.
Yeah. Can you say something more? What do you mean by that?
Ma'am, you can unmute and speak. I think this training will not only change the participants, sir, that it will change their personal life also.
Yeah, but it is, see, this is one of the blunders of our corporate life,
Yeah.
that we are thinking as if there are different lives. No, it's the same person. And if we are not connected with people in any one part of our life, it is going to affect us. It affects our stress, it affects our mental, physical well-being everywhere, because it's the same human being. You cannot divide them and say, okay, in one place you have great relationship, in other place you become mechanical and just come and do your job and go. No, either you enrich your heart everywhere or it is going to affect you.
True, sir. Yogeshwari madam has written, first level is by nature, everyone has to gain, and the level 2 we require to have some experience.
No, level 2 is conscious effort, not experience. It's a conscious effort. Level 1 is automatic, default. Because of our, what we see, I don't know what you mean by experience, okay? But if you mean experience like you start understanding things, then that is actually detrimental to listening. Because then you start understanding people, you understanding things, you start labeling them, you start getting into the world of opinion and judgment. And the more you are in the world of opinion and judgment, the less you will listen. You will only listen when you can notice your opinion and judgment and put it aside. So, Yogeshwari, madam, are you married?
Yes, sir, she is married. Ma'am,
Okay.
you can unmute and speak. She's married, she's having 2 kids also.
Okay.
Ma'am,
So,
I think she's having some problem with the.
no problem. Yeah, I understand. So, when did you enjoy your relationship with your husband more? When you got married and in the first 6 months, or after 20 years? And when do you, this is for everybody. And when do you see, when do you enjoy your children more?
So she has
When
written after 20 years.
they right. Good. I think your husband is lucky. But when you start seeing that our judgment limits our life, our judgment limits our relationships, our judgment limits our the way we can work and be creative. Yeah.
Shafat sir has written hypothetical question.
Ask. Let's see.
Shafat sir, you can unmute and speak, sir.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
Sir, actually, I don't know how to see the things because when we married, we don't know many things about them.
Yeah.
But after some time, 2 years or 5 years, we know what they think and they know what we think,
Right.
and there is some communication is there is many times there is no word, no there is no need to say something that automatically happens.
Right.
So I don't know the initial part or later part. I don't
How
know
long you've
how
been
to.
married?
5 years.
Okay, good. Right. So, yeah, there is a certain amount of understanding created, right?
Yes.
But also consider that we stop listening. The awareness and the alertness with which we listen gets reduced, because now we have a judgment. Oh, this person is like this, they like this, they don't like this, they think this, they are capable of this. So we start labeling and judging people. The good, bad. I'm not saying you are having good judgment or bad judgment. The point is, it's judgment. And inside of that, they can only show up in a particular way. Nothing new is possible. Okay.
Yeah, I
You
understood. I think we need to more. We need to discuss more to understand what they see. I think that
Yeah,
is something we need to do. Yeah.
yeah, we need to spend some time listening to
Yeah.
them.
Agree. Agree.
Right. And this is just one relationship. This is not a marriage counseling session, but I am just starting with marriage because that's the easiest place for you to see certain things, right? But now then, when we go to our life, our professional life, and we look at, we have opinions and judgments about students, we have opinions and judgments about our fellow colleagues and our management and about our institute and about our subjects and about what is possible and how this institute will be after 2 years and how this institute will be after 5 years and how these children will be in the future and how you will be. There's all judgment and a fixed world that we live in. There's not much inquisitiveness, not much listening to create something new. So when you start saying, okay, I have this opinion about myself, I have this opinion about my students, I have, and all of us are listening through those world of opinions. And when we can catch in any moment when a student asks a question, or you are planning the session, or you are talking to a colleague, right, or your children ask a question, or any interaction, and you can see, oh, I think I'm listening, but maybe I am not. And if I put aside my opinion and judgment, what is the new thing I can hear? What is the new thought, new point of view that can get triggered here? Now, it may not happen every time, but when you start this discipline of pausing and inquiring, okay, you're saying this, why are you saying this? What do you say something more? What do you understand here? What is the whole perspective here? Maybe as you start being more inquisitive and you open your mind and you ask some more questions, not questions for proving something, but questions just with an open mind to understand what they are saying and why they are saying, maybe things will start opening up. But we don't ask much questions. You need an open mind to ask a lot of questions. And questions not from questioning something, but question to understand and to explore. Oh, how is it this way? Oh, why did you say this? Oh, like trying to get new data and trying to get some contradictory data, which will force you to question your current logic, and which will force you to expand your current paradigm.
So there is one question
Yes.
from Revati ma'am, sir.
Yeah.
She's asking you, sir, have you learned and inculcated the art of listening in your life?
I'm trying to for last 20 years. It's a ongoing journey forever, right? You never end. Every day you have to find out. Every day I have to find out how much I am not listening. And the more I can find out that I'm not listening, the more I can listen. And the more I can find out my opinion and judgment, the more I can go beyond my opinion and judgment and discover new things.
So does it mean that we should not set our mind?
Sorry?
Does it mean that we should not set our minds?
We should not
Set, S-E-T, set.
set. Yeah, I think that would be a great point. That you can say, okay, I have this opinion about this perspective or this point, or I have this opinion about this person, but I don't want to get stuck with it. And I can listen and see and be aware that we have a certain point of view. See, the problem is not that we have a judgment. The problem is we are not aware that we have a judgment. So when I'm aware that, okay, I have an opinion and judgment about an issue, then I can be aware of that opinion and judgment, and then I can listen beyond it. But if I don't even notice my opinion and judgment, it is going to shape my action and my behavior, and I would not even know that that judgment was shaping my action and behavior. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yes, I got. Actually, the thing is that
Your volume is little low. Sorry. Can you speak little louder, please?
I got your point, sir. I got your point, sir.
Okay, great.
So how would you break that judgment?
You cannot break the judgment. Okay. Who's asking this question?
Satish Prabhu, sir.
Satish. Yeah, Satish, I think we don't need to worry about breaking the judgment. We can start with noticing the judgment and being aware of the judgment. Okay. If we can develop our capability to notice our judgments, we will be able to go beyond the judgment. The judgment is not wrong, or having the judgment is not the problem. The bigger problem is that we have judgments and we are not aware that we have this judgment, and then they will influence they will have control on our life. You understand, Satish?
Yes, absolutely.
So if you notice your judgment about something, then you are not limited to it. But if you're not noticing the judgment, then you are stuck to that judgment.
At what point should will I recognize that I am judgmental? At what point? So when I'm starting to think, okay, I have some inputs on the others.
We are always judgmental.
Yeah. At what point will I know that this judgment is influencing me? When do I recognize that?
When you don't recognize your opinion and judgment about the person, or you don't recognize your opinion and judgment about the issue, then your opinion and judgment is running your life.
Okay.
When you are not aware about your opinion and judgment, then your opinion and judgment is running your life.
Okay.
If in the moment, if you can be aware, oh, right, I'm talking to this person, and I have this opinion about this person, and we are discussing this topic, and I have this opinion about this topic. If you can be aware of it, you will be able to go beyond it. But if you're not aware, then you are on automatic.
Yeah. Yeah. Correct, sir. Correct.
So when you're talking to your boss, right, supervisor, and if you go into the meeting, that with your opinion, that with awareness of your opinion and judgment about your supervisor, then during the meeting it will get triggered and you will notice it. If you can notice it, you can put it aside and try to listen beyond that opinion and judgment. But if you don't notice it, you will only listen through that opinion and judgment. There's no new possibility there.
Oh, yes, yes. Okay. Okay, sir.
Sir,
Great.
yeah,
Yes.
Yogeshwari madam has put up one question, sir. So whether knowledge help us in contradicting the judgment while listening?
I don't understand the question. Can you say something more, please?
Ma'am, can you brief it? She is saying whether knowledge help us in contradicting the judgment while listening. If you are knowledgeable, can you
No, but you're fighting your own
help me?
judgment, no? The problem is you're fighting your own world of opinion and judgment. So I I don't think your knowledge will help you to fight your own opinion and judgment, or it might help you. But if you're aware of your opinion and judgment, then it might help you. So the real point is awareness of your opinion and judgment moment by moment. If you are aware, you can do something about it, you can go beyond it. If you're not aware, it will run your life. You get what I'm saying? So now let's look at what stops us from listening with open mind. What is the enemy of open mind? I think it is now clear from all what we have discussed. The enemy of open mind is our voice of judgment. In our head, 24 hours, 7 days a week, there's a voice of judgment going on. That is the enemy of our listening with open mind. And of course, most people on the planet have an illusion that they have an open mind. But for human beings, open mind is not possible. As human beings, we don't have any possibility called open mind. The only possibility is we can be aware of our judgments. So when somebody says, I am operating with open mind, that means they are not listening and they are not aware that they are not listening. They are in the world of opinion and judgment. Right? So it is always getting triggered all the time. Right? Like right now, I see two people left the meeting. Okay. Immediately my mind will say, oh, see, it's not going well. People are not understanding. Oh, that opinion and judgment will automatically come. That thought did not come with my permission. It came automatic. So when you can notice that thought coming, you don't have to become its slave. You can let go of that thought or let go of your attachment to that thought. But if you don't notice the thought coming, you don't notice the voice of judgment, you can't go beyond. Right? So that's our first. So to listen at level 2, which is open mind and factual listening, we need to notice our voice of judgment and put it aside. Is that clear? Okay, you can write in your text box or you can speak up if that much is clear, then I can go to the next slide. Next point. Okay. So the next thing is open heart. What is the bottleneck in open heart? Why don't we open our heart? We don't open our heart, it is because it is very risky. If you trust somebody, if you love somebody, if you get committed for something, if you say yes, this is possible, and you start dreaming about it, or you anything where you commit to your heart, there is a risk of failure, risk of uh, getting people laughing at you, risk of being wrong, risk of sometimes there's a risk of dying. And definitely in the social context, there is a risk of not looking smart, looking stupid, right? So, and getting our heart broken. So, what we do is we don't open our heart and try to go through life safely. But when we close our heart, we close everything, right? We close our connection with people, which is, and we close our connection with ourselves. So, we want to encourage you to go beyond this voice of cynicism. This is called the voice of cynicism. Cynicism is what? Oh, it won't be great. Nothing will work out. Oh, let it be new government, new management, new job, new spouse. Ultimately, life is going to be ordinary. So, somewhere there's a voice of things are not going to be great. Right? There's a voice of cynicism. Oh, it cannot be great for me, it cannot be great for me, or it cannot be great for our country, it cannot be great for our institute, it can't be great here, this, that. Well, there is some voice of cynicism that comes on from time to time. It may not be there all the time, but it comes on time to time. And if you can notice that voice of cynicism, you can go beyond and connect with people, connect open with the open heart. You can commit to things that you are passionate about. You can stand for something. You can get committed to bringing in change where you are committed to bring change. You can get committed to bring in fulfilling your hobbies, fulfilling your life purpose, doing what you wanted to do in life. And you can also get committed and open to listening and connecting deeply with people, creating profound partnerships, creating new worlds of possibilities. So all that will happen when you start going beyond your voice of cynicism. So that's your second enemy. And the third enemy is your voice of fear. Right? Again, fear of things going wrong, fear of failure, fear of dying, fear of, oh, I will give up my old way of working. And this new way of working that we try, it may not work. So fear of letting go of the past. Sometimes the past and whatever we are stuck with, we know it is not great, right? But still we continue with that past relationships, past way of working, past way of thinking, because there is some fear that if I let go of this past, even though it's not great, if I let go of it, maybe the future that comes may be worse than this. So there's a fear. And when you can go beyond the fear, you can let go of the past and allow the new future to emerge. And that is going beyond the voice of fear and practicing generative listening. Generative listening is listening for the new future to emerge. Okay, so
Sir,
let's hear from people. Questions?
there is one question from Lavanya ma'am.
Yeah,
A risk of over imagination became inferiority complex. Fear loses our capabilities.
yeah, true. It's all our voice of fear.
So I have a question, this is Satish.
Yeah, just
Uh,
1 second, Satish. Right.
yeah.
So I want to just because what Lavanya madam has said, let me just think on it. So
Okay.
what would become possible if we could notice our voice of fear and at that time bring some courage and go beyond that and take some new action? What would become possible? Lavanya ma'am?
Ma'am, you can unmute yourself and speak out, or otherwise you can type. Lavanya, ma'am. Ma'am, you can unmute and speak, ma'am. Otherwise, you can type in chat box also, but it is better unmute and speak.
Okay. So in the meanwhile, let's hear from somebody who was speaking. Whom did I stop?
Satish, Satish,
Yes.
sir.
Go ahead.
Yes, ma'am. Sir, I have this doubt for a long time. When we
Hmm.
say open-minded and when we say open heart, uh,
Hmm.
what we say open-minded is logical, and open heart is something I don't know how to explain it. Can you differentiate between open-minded and open heart? Open mind and open heart.
Are you an engineer?
Yes,
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Only engineer can ask this question. Okay. You
Because
you go to your wife and get coached on this. I am sure no, and only an engineer can ask this question. Okay.
because that rings
No,
always.
I cannot answer this question. You have to go to your wife for coaching on this.
I have to
Okay.
go open-minded or open heart, sir, to go ask this question.
Uh,
Yeah. Okay.
I
Good.
think
Somebody else?
a server has tried to answer this question. Emotional heart with emotion and mind is with rational things.
Yeah. Yeah. Don't answer. Some questions are not to be answered.
Lavanya ma'am, would you like to ask your question to sir? Uh,
Ma'am,
yeah, ma'am, we are able to hear.
Yes.
thanks,
Go
ma'am.
ahead.
That's only that the speech is very nice, ma'am. It is so impressive. I'm able to recognize a fault and all, madam, and nearly it's very useful. And what my question is, the
Yeah.
fear is a major problem for all the human beings. So it's not able to avoidable. It is with me and with everybody. I always know. So how to overcome the basic things, no, the fear and all. That only I'm
Yeah.
asking.
Very good. Like you did right now. You spoke up, right?
Yeah, yes, sir.
You had to bring some courage.
Yeah.
You had to speak in front of
The out
everybody,
yeah.
right? See, you have
Mm,
doubt, but you
yeah.
don't speak up because of voice of fear. Now, you went beyond that voice of fear and you demonstrated some courage, right?
Yes,
Hello?
sir.
Yeah. So,
Yes, sir.
like
Yes,
that,
I'm hearing. Yeah. Mm,
yeah, like that, we have to bring some courage. Courage to do
yeah.
what?
We have to.
Courage to, courage to do what we know is the right thing to do, even when we are afraid
Mm,
of doing it.
that self confidence we have. Yeah.
No, we don't need
Basic.
confidence. We don't need
Okay. Okay.
confidence. We need
Okay,
commitment.
sir. Commitment. Okay. Okay.
Confidence, I don't have much respect for confidence. Okay.
Yes, sir.
I think commitment is more important than confidence.
Okay, sir.
Have you heard of Trump?
Yeah. He's now talking in the. Yeah,
Yeah.
Trump. Yeah.
So he has no problems of confidence,
Okay.
right? But he may
Yes,
have
sir.
some problems of competence.
Yeah, he talking about all the subjects, no? Not only in
Yeah.
politics,
So
all the medicine.
the
Yeah.
point is, confidence is not that important.
Yes, sir. Commitment.
Commit,
Yeah.
commitment is more important. Now, since you are committed to learn,
Mm.
you brought some courage and you asked.
Yeah, automatically develops. Yeah, because of
No,
commitment.
not automatically. Because of your commitment, you bring some courage. It's a conscious choice. You operate with courage. Okay, it's a conscious choice. Nothing is automatic, and whatever happens automatic, that is not going to be powerful. Okay, that is going to be negative. That is going to be detrimental.
That we have to prepare according to the commitments, sir. That only.
Yeah, you will now you will operate with courage only in those areas where you are committed.
Yes, sir.
There's no point in operating with courage and driving your vehicle in the wrong side just because you want to have courage. No, that is stupidity. But where you are committed to do something, like you want to teach students and help them learn, or you want to do something in your family and make something available to the family,
Yes.
when you have a commitment and there you do something beyond your fear, that is courage.
Yes.
That is courage, and that is useful,
Okay. Okay. Okay, sir.
right? But it should come from your commitment.
Okay, sir.
Great. Thank you very
Yes,
much
sir.
for asking.
Thanks, sir.
Good. Very good. Somebody else? What are you understanding? What are you learning? Sorry, what are you learning? And what questions you have? Let's interact with some new people who are not spoken. There are so many people on the call who are not spoken. Can you speak up, please? Couple of you. Let's operate with some courage here. Let's unmute and speak. Either ask a question or share what you're learning.
We are gathering courage.
I understand. I understand. And some of you, of course, we understand that you are with your family and it's uncomfortable to talk. But maybe see if you can make it happen. Go be right, unmute and speak. It would be great to hear you.
Nobody wants to speak. Please unmute and speak up about the trainings, what you are learning, or if you have any question, or if you don't want to speak up, then at least type in the chat box.
Tell me, yeah, please chat. What are your questions or what you understanding? Okay.
I'm sure everybody would have learned a lot of things. Sir, because
I don't know. I cannot say that because I only learn when somebody tells me that this is what I learned, right? Otherwise, it would be my assumption.
Because this is a small term, but it is very complicated term, sir. So you have explained us very well.
Welcome. Okay, so we're not going to. So if you have any questions or commitments or any doubts, you should ask. But we are going to move on in this topic a little bit. Okay, and we want to introduce you one exercise. I talked about it last time, but today we want to go a little deeper into it. Maybe we will also do some practice on it. Okay. So this exercise is called empathy walk. Did anybody want to say anything? No. Okay.
Everybody is silent.
Okay. No, I heard some voice. That's why. So this exercise is called empathy walk. What is this empathy walk? It is not about physically walking, but it is about you listening and getting into other person's world. And the purpose of empathy walk is to develop relationship with people, develop an emotional connection with people, develop rapport with people who are different than you. Okay. See, each one of us, we see the world in a particular way. And we assume that everybody else sees the world in the way we see the world. But it is not true. We see the world in a particular way. Different people see the world in their own way. Like small children and teenagers and middle-aged people and elder generation, they don't see life in the same way. In the same way, men and women don't see life in the same way. Rich and poor don't see life in the same way. Junior, senior people don't see life in the same way. Doctors and engineers and different people from different backgrounds, they don't see life in the same way. So it's important for us to see that there is a way we see life, which is valid, nothing wrong with it. But there are other ways also to see life, and they are also equally valid. Do you get what I'm saying? Your way of seeing life is valid, but your husband's way of seeing life, your children's way of seeing life, your boss's way of seeing life, your students' way of seeing life, that is also valid. Your people from other professions, people from other departments, they also have a view of life. That view of life is different from your view of life. If you are an academician, you know that the way a teacher sees world is very different from the way your administrative staff see the world, right? Very different from the way the parents see the world. Each of us have a different worldview. An empathy walk is an exercise to see other person's worldview, not agreeing or disagreeing, but just getting connected with that person. Okay? In this, there are no right ways of asking questions. There is no format. It is just you have a conversation and you get their world and develop a heart-to-heart connection. Okay? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a demonstration with some volunteer, if we have a volunteer from your side. And before that, of course, if you have any question, we will take these questions. But when I do the demonstration, do not worry about what I am asking or saying. That is not important. But I try to sense how I am listening. Mostly we are trained to listen to what is being said. I'm going to invite you to listen to how I'm listening, because the empathy walk is not in what you say or ask, but it is in the way you listen. Okay? So, any questions before we go ahead?
Sir, Ansari has that one question, but there should be some parameter too. This can be accepted in the social science only for some extent. I think
I don't know social science. I know that life is more important than social science. Okay? And human beings are more important than your social science and your logic. And don't worry, this is coming from, by the way, this methodology is coming from education institution only. Okay? And it is coming from MIT, which is the global hub for system thinking. So all the academic parameters, don't worry about it. They're already being taken care of. Let's worry about how we can get it in our life, right? But if you have any question, you can please ask. Don't worry about somebody else accepting it, right? Okay, so I need a volunteer. And we're going to do an empathy walk with you. And yeah, it's just an opportunity to learn.
I would say Ansari, Sadiq sir, and Shafaq.
I'll come.
Yeah.
I'll come.
Who's that?
Sadiq sir. Server.
Is that Sadiq sir?
Okay.
Yes,
Yes,
sir,
sir.
Sadiq sir.
Yeah.
Sir,
I can be volunteer for you.
Sir,
Okay, fantastic.
Ansari and Shafaq sir, would you like to be?
Let's talk to some madam also.
Yes, ma'am.
Yogeshwari madam?
Okay.
No, she
So
is not able to.
let them choose. Let's not force anybody, but we would like to talk to a couple of people. Let's see. And maybe let's do one, and then maybe we can give you a chance to do. Let's see. Okay. So is that Sadiq? Yeah. Sadish, right?
Sadish, yes, sir.
Okay, great. So Sadish, can you help me with your spelling? How do you spell your name?
It is S A D
Yeah.
as in Delhi, H
Okay.
I SH
Sadish.
PR, yeah, Sadish, and
Okay.
PRABHU. PRABHU.
Prabhu. Sadish Prabhu.
Ah, yes, sir.
Yeah, Sadish Prabhu. Sadish, right?
Yes, yeah,
Did I spell it correctly?
yes, sir. Absolutely.
Sadish Prabhu. Okay,
Yeah.
great. Fantastic. So thank you, Sadish, for volunteering here. Yeah,
Thank you, sir.
we appreciate that.
Yes, sir.
So I don't know you much, okay, and except that you have been here for this course for the second time, right? This you were
Yes,
there
sir.
last time also, right?
Yeah. Yes, sir.
Yeah,
Yes.
great. So I appreciate that. So can you tell me a little bit about yourself, please?
Professionally, I'm a assistant professor, senior grade in the Department of Electronics and Communication Engineering, and
Mm-hmm.
I'm associated with Crescent for the past 9 years.
Good.
Earlier, I was working as a lecturer, then moved to senior lecturer in Sedu Institute of Technology at Madurai, and
Okay.
I am handling both technical as well as entrepreneurship course in my professional line. I have
Right.
uh, I have interest in entrepreneurship, in soft skills. So I do a little bit of trainings in the institution for the students also, and
Mm-hmm.
I have personally. I am residing near to my institute, and I have a kid. My native is down south in Tirunelveli, Ambasamutram.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Uh, so that's all about myself.
Okay. Very good. Great. And can you tell us a little bit about your family?
My wife name is Uma Devi.
Mm-hmm.
My son name is Niklesh. Uh,
Mm.
my wife is a civil engineer. She is
Oh
working.
wow.
Yeah, she is working in a construction company called KSN at Podambakam.
Okay.
My son is studying his. He has completed his second standard in the school nearby at Urapakam. We call it as Sri Shankara Vidyalaya Higher Secondary School.
Okay.
Uh, s- this is about my family, and my father and mother are they are located at Ambasamutram. They are there in a very peaceful situation. I have
How far is that from here?
it is around 600 kilometers.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. Go ahead. You were saying something.
I have sibling also. I have a sister and a younger brother. Both
Mm-hmm.
of them, both of them are in Qatar. Uh, so they are married, and each of them are looking after their own.
Did you say brother and sister?
Yes, elder sister and younger brother.
Okay. Right. 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 Both of them are in Qatar, right?
Yeah, yes, sir.
Right. And your wife is working in which city?
She's in Chennai only.
Okay.
Chennai, we call it as Kodambakam.
Okay. So is it far away from the office?
Yes, sir. We have to take a train. She has to take a
Oh.
train. Runs about
Oh.
40 minutes, 45 minutes from here, from my place
Oh.
to the station.
Right. 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 And why did you shift from Madurai to here to this college?
Because after I got married,
Mm-hmm.
my wife was working over here in Chennai only. So I thought I could move over here so that I would have a better opportunity and a better scope of learning also. So similarly, I had that. Uh,
Very
my
good.
my learning is widened.
Yeah, very good. And you also your wife can continue her job, right?
Yeah, she can continue her job.
Was it a love marriage?
No, sir.
Okay,
Thought of
great.
it, but didn't happen.
Good, good. I appreciate that. Right. So, what do you like about this college or institute?
the, without thinking, I can say the freedom of learning. So
Mm,
the institution has provided freedom of learning both for faculty as well as the students. Right, we learn at our own pace. We design our own curriculum.
mhm,
There is a much of liberty for taking the class to the students. Liberty in the sense the way we handle the class. Right,
mm.
many techniques can be adopted which cannot be done in other institutions because this course is designed only for us. So we have the liberty to design the course and take it well. Our students would feel that this whatever course we take is easily acceptable. We have different kind of learning mechanism also, teaching mechanism
Okay.
also. A lot
Right.
of experiments can be done.
Very good. Very good. Great. And how do you like? What is your future? What is your vision now for the next 5 years of your life?
So basically, I don't have that futuristic vision. So
Mhm.
my principle is, I live for today. I have to be happy. I'll think about what to do next for the next a year or so that everybody, those who are near me, also I'll try to keep them happy.
Right. Are you planning to be in the same college for the next 5-10 years, or are you planning to do something else in the future?
I have a plan of doing a consultancy kind of a thing where I could help students, particularly when I go down to my place as south.
Right.
Students don't have this kind of awareness. What the awareness that the city students have. So I
Okay.
could give them a counseling also. I am having a plan of
Okay.
that.
Very good. Fantastic. Fantastic. Okay, so we can continue this conversation for long, but right now, today we'll pause here. Thank you very much, Sadish Prabhu, for investing your time with us. Yeah,
Okay, sir.
thank
Yeah,
you.
sir.
So, everybody, if you notice, in a short time, I could learn a lot about Sadish, right? But more importantly, I am able to connect to him and develop a certain rapport with him.
Yeah.
Now, if I knew him, then I would have asked different kind of questions. If I don't know, I would ask different kind of questions. But it's more about asking those questions where you can get to listen more. It's not a police inquiry, right? It is just an exploration to know the person more. Okay, it's quite simple, right?
Yeah.
Uh, So, Sadish, how did you feel out of this discussion?
So it was like you try to understand, you try to listen to me, particularly
Mm,
when I say something. You came with the same thoughts. I told my wife in the first part of the conversation. You came back to her again, so there I could see that you just listened to me what I spoke also, and you had a interest on me, saying that what would be my future also.
right.
So what will be there in 5 years down the line? So you had a interest, saying, according to me, right? You had an
Yeah,
interest by knowing about me, what I would be like, even without knowing myself. You are
yeah,
trying to get into me and then understand what I would be looking like, what I would be feeling like, what I'd be thinking like. So
yeah.
that those thoughts came into me.
Right. And did we develop a better rapport with each other in the last 10 minutes than compared to
Yes.
before?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. But my thing was, it was like uh, you trying to ask me, but I didn't have an opportunity to ask you.
Yeah, because I was doing the empathy walk right now,
Okay. Okay. Okay.
right? So sometimes it could be both ways, right?
Yes.
But
Okay.
sometimes it's like you are taking interest to know somebody,
Okay.
right? Now, if they want to know you, then they can also ask you questions, right?
Okay.
But right now we were just trying to do a demonstration, small demonstration of how an empathy walk can go. But you can also you can also ask questions and you can get to know the other person, right?
Okay.
But we are asking you to do empathy walk with people so that you can listen and discover them. So
Okay.
what I was doing is I was listening and discovering you, and I was connecting with you, right?
Yes, sir.
And I could see a lot of positive things. Or somebody go on mute, please. So now we will give all of you also a chance to do an empathy walk. What is the purpose of an empathy walk? To develop rapport with people and to see the world from their eyes. Now I could see so many things. I could see how Satish, like what inspired me to know is Satish came from his town to this town to Chennai, from Madurai to Chennai, because he was two things I see. He didn't say it, but I saw that yes. One is of course he uh, did that inside of his commitment for his own development learning, and the second is also for it supported his wife, right? So that was great. And then to just know him and how he's looking at uh, supporting the children from his native place, also to just understand that uh, his wife needs to travel by train and go, and it takes so much time, and just to connect. This is connection, no agenda, no purpose. You're not trying to do something with that information. You're just connecting from human being to human being, right? And you have to do with more and more people, and the more you do, you expand your thinking, and you open your mind, you open your heart. That will make you a better person, a better leader, and you will be able to think and take decisions in life from a much broader perspective, right? So, and some of you will think that yes, we are doing it, yes, but now we want to do it more and more consciously, and in with many people, with all different kinds of people, right? Especially to do it with people who are different than you. Okay, so I don't know this Google Meet setup. Do you have a facility here to do breakout rooms, like where small groups of people can talk to each other,
Yes,
madam?
sir. They can unmute and talk to each other, sir. But groups
That
I cannot.
everybody, you don't have, no?
Uh,
So no problem. In Zoom we use that, but no problem. Here what we will do is, all of you, we will give you a chance to do an empathy walk with me, because I am a stranger for you, right? So you can do an empathy walk with me, and you can ask questions, and you can from the commitment to connect with me. The only rule is you cannot ask a same or similar question that somebody else has already asked. Okay, you understand the exercise?
yes, sir.
Okay, great. So, and you have to unmute and ask, and I'll respond. And this is just for you to learn deep listening and connecting with people. And it will look very simple, but you will find that it will, as you use this more and more in your life, you will find getting enriched, right? Get expanding your paradigm. Okay. So,
Sir, can you say something about your personal life?
yeah, who's that?
Yogeshwari from Civil Department.
Yeah. So, yeah, sure. What do you would like to know? You want to know about my
No, your
family?
parents,
Or,
your family, and
okay,
your.
great. So my father was in Air Force. He was an instrumentation engineer in Air Force. He was in Air Force for 15 years, and then he took voluntary retirement, and then he came into private job, and then he moved into business. So uh, uh, he's also from the engineering side. I did my mechanical engineering, and he is currently in Ahmedabad. He and my mother are in Ahmedabad right now. I am in Mumbai, and I am married. I have twin daughters, and my wife is associated with a spiritual organization as a volunteer, and my daughters are studying 10th standard right now. They're given some exams, and then last four exams are left, and this COVID situation has happened, so they're waiting for those exams to get over.
Good, sir. Nice.
Sir, there is one
Welcome,
question from
welcome. Somebody else. Yeah.
There is one question from Saguna madam. Sir, what does your name mean?
I am not sure, right? I always used to think maybe Manoj like something to do with man. So maybe, but I'm not so sure. So if you know that, you can definitely let me know. Uh, that would be great. But something to do with mind, I don't know. Yeah. Thanks. Somebody else?
Sir, I have one question.
Yeah. And people who are not spoken, this is a good time to speak, right? Yes, go ahead.
Okay, so I was a little bit amazed how you choose this profession. So this profession is more or less like interacting with the people, understand the people, and culture the people. How? What makes you to choose this career?
Yeah. Interesting. Yeah. So in 1992, I did a program. I participated in a program called the Landmark Forum. I don't know if you have heard of it. And there I got connected with that. I was running my business of industrial selling industrial products at that time. But there I got connected to that. Yes, I would like to contribute to people. So slowly from that time, I started getting into training and contribution. And from 1994, I have been in this profession of management consulting, training, coaching, and I've had the privilege of, I think, coaching almost 100,000 people by now, and many forms, both working on their personal transformation as well as working in the corporates for corporate training and development. But I think it started from my participation in that program.
Thank you, sir.
Welcome. Somebody else?
So there's one question. Actually, there's two questions, sir. Actually, IT has asked you. You started your career as what?
I started my, I'm a mechanical, I studied mechanical engineering. So I started my career as by starting a small business of marketing industrial products across Gujarat. So that's how I started. And in 1992, but in 1994, I shifted to consulting, and then I started training and development, and I got an opportunity to be a consultant to set up the first Delhi public school in Gujarat. And from that time, then I've been into full-time consulting.
So there is one another question, Nirmala ma'am. Do you carry on any CSR activities or do you have any association with NGO?
No, I don't have any association with NGO. I don't do any CSR. My business is my CSR. So I believe that the way you do business and the way you think about your business, that itself should be in a way that contributes to maximum number of people. So that's what we train our clients also. That is what we train our corporates also, that they instead of thinking as business as separate and contribution as separate, they should look at the business itself in a way that it is contributing to the world, and while they're also becoming they're also taken care of. So it's called eco principles. Ego to eco. Ego means thinking of limited, thinking of a small boundary, and eco means thinking about what we say Vasudeva Kutumbakam, where the world is a family, and looking at how can we make a difference to more and more people. And so that's our thought process.
There's one more question, sir. Dr. Karim Mullah, who is your role model and reason for that?
I have I'm inspired by a lot of people. My father for is a very big inspiration for me, because he has a like never give up kind of a spirit. He is like, if I'm playing chess with him, or if we are playing badminton or table tennis or anything, it's like it comes from his life, that even till the last point he is like fighting, and he is many a times he converts those losing situations into success. So that is one big inspiration for me. Other inspirations have been many of my coaches, Mr. Ferdi D'Souza, who was the pioneer who brought landmark education here in India. And Peter Senge, I like his humility and his thinking, and their whole orientation around contributing to the world. There are a lot of people that I get inspired by. I wouldn't call role models per se, but I think a lot of people are there to be inspired and look up to and guide us in our life journey. Thank you.
Sir, this question from Siddhika Begum ma'am. Sir, any similarity or differences you find in Japanese people and Indians?
One of the things that I see is Japanese. There is more of in both the cultures. There is this whole trying to show respect to elders and seniors and all that. I think that is there. So that I think overall that culture is there. The difference is definitely something that is very old and obvious. One is Japanese people don't. I work with a lot of Japanese people, so they say even now after so many years, Indians are not trained to do things on time. They will not attend meetings on time. They don't do things on time. So that is one complaint they have with still, which is surprising. So when they work with me, they say, "You're the only one where we know that whatever is the time that is going to be 100% honored," and but they still find that complaint. The other commonality I think is in both places, people like they pretend to respect while actually respecting may not be there. So that's surprising. That is common. And people like there also people work long hours, and people don't go from their offices till the time the bosses go. So there is this whole culture of deference. But otherwise, I think they are also nice people. And I don't know enough to say more about Japanese culture, but whatever people I know and met and have rapport with, I like them. I am good friends with them. Right? To say more about a particular group, I think you need much more understanding. So I was just kind of saying from the group that I work with. Yeah.
Sir,
Thank you.
one question from Chandrika ma'am. What are your hobbies?
My hobbies are, except eating food, my hobbies are I play chess. I'll try to play chess. I like to read, and I play bridge with. It's a card game, and yeah, that is I think that are most of my hobbies. Yeah. Okay, great. So we'll stop here, and what I wanted you to know is it just requires you to open your heart and try to connect with people, right? And it is simple, right? Hello.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. From my understanding, yes,
Yeah.
can I speak? Yeah, from my understanding, I found that you work for your way in which you would like, because you have studied mechanical engineering, but you have turned up your business in some other field which you like it more. So
Yeah.
you always work with your heart.
Yes.
That is the nice, and I hope that has helped you a lot in expressing your views and ideas, which make others also to understand a lot more things.
Yes. Great. Thank you very much. So now this is the beginning of the listening journey. There are many other things, and what I would like you to do, actually, is as I said earlier in the that we have a 1 year course, okay, and This is course called Leadership from the Emerging Future. In that, level 1 course is a 3-month course, and then there are level 2, level 3, level 4, like 5 level courses. Okay, and we of course make it up. We work with corporates, but we want to make those courses available to the faculty and the students of good colleges, and we would like to explore how to make it available to all of you. And so I would suggest that you can talk with your management, and we can explore further. And of course, we charge fees for our work that we do with corporates. We when we do with uh, colleges, we are willing to subsidize it heavily. And we would also like to train and give you the technology so that all of you can then continue and make it available to your students and your this thing. And this technology is available free of cost. So this whole principles are available, so we can train you, and then you can master it, and then you can make it available to your friends, students, and your community. So I would request if you can think on those lines, interact with your college, and we can see how this can spirit can be spread on the planet, right? In to your students, and then through them beyond. So, do you think that would be of interest to you, any one of you?
Yes, sir, that would definitely benefit us. And when we get trained, definitely that would be imparted to our students also. So the community that we spread this message would be very huge.
Yeah. So, so we have this 3-month course where we like what we are doing right now. Like that, we have 10 sessions, 1 session a week, and where of 2.5 hours, where we take up different aspects of this theory. And we train you on some principles. Then you practice 1 week. You come back, and then you share, and then we train you on the next set of principles. And that is how our level 1 course is done. And then we can tell you more about our other levels. And as I said, we would be willing to support in many possible ways, including uh, right, training you, making this technology available to you, and all that. So yeah, discuss with your management, and we don't know the process and procedure of your institute. So we hope you can guys work out everything, and we can be in discussion and see how to take it forward. Yeah. Okay, madam, anything else for you?
Nothing, sir. Thank you, sir. And as I discussed with you, the financial procedure is a bit lengthy. So as
Yeah.
soon as the lockdown open, we will put up the proposal in front of the management, and if they're okay, I'll get back to you, sir.
Yeah. And yeah, and whether it's financial or not, it has to be official. Okay.
Yes, sir. That financial approvals, and now since it is lockdown,
Yeah, yeah.
so it
But
will
what I'm
take
saying
more
is,
time, sir.
yeah, but whether it is financial or not, it has to be an official long-term agreement, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah,
That will be official only, sir. We have to go
yeah,
through one committee.
yeah,
We
yeah,
have to go through the proper approvals, and then only
yes,
we can come back with that.
yeah, yeah. But so we are clear that finance is not a problem in the kind of work that we want to do. We don't get limited by that finance, but it has to be a deep understanding and appreciation of what is being done. Yeah.
Sure.
Uh, okay, everybody, just as a closing thing, I invite you to do this kind of empathy walks, and you can change your questions. If you know somebody, you of course will change your questions. The point is to get more and more connected with people and start seeing life from their angle. I invite you to take on doing an empathy walk, one empathy walk a day for the maybe the next 21 days, right? If not, then maybe at least for a week, right? So you decide what you want to do. either commit for doing an empathy walk for 1 week, one empathy walk every day, or if you are more serious, you can do one empathy walk for 21 days, whatever suits you. Yeah. So if you are interested to take it on, please do. And in case we happen to meet again next time, then you can always share. But otherwise, you can connect. And those of you who want to be in touch with us, you can connect with me on Facebook or LinkedIn. And we do some open introductions also. And you can find out more about our work. Right? Everybody, thank you very much. We deeply appreciate your respect and your willingness to learn. So thank you very much for this opportunity. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, sir. Thank you on behalf of our faculties. Thank you so much, and coming back for second time and giving such a nice session, sir. And I'm sure this will change. This session will change their personal life also.
Great.
Thank you so much.
Very good.
Thank
Very
you.
good. Thank you. Bye.
Thank you, sir.